Today, I want to speak plainly and calmly about a political development that has drawn attention across Japan's political landscape. This is not about headlines. This is not about speculation. This is about choices, principles, and how those choices are explained to the public. Recently, discussions have emerged around the idea of forming a new political party ahead of the next House of Representatives election. This proposed framework involves cooperation between the Constitutional Democratic Party and Komito. The aim, as described by those involved, is to create a new political force capable of contesting the upcoming election with greater unity. However, not all parties share the same view. On the 15th, the leader of the Democratic Party for the People, Yuichiro Tamaki, made his position unmistakably clear. He stated directly that his party would not join this new political grouping. There was no ambiguity in his words. There was no hesitation in his stance. Tamaki emphasized that participation in the proposed new party was never an option for his party. He explained that a formal request had been conveyed through party channels. According to him, Komito's request reached the Democratic Party for the People via senior leadership discussions. Specifically, he noted that a message had been passed to his party's Secretary General, Katsuyuki Shimba. That message came from senior figures within the Constitutional Democratic Party. The purpose was clear. They wanted participation. They wanted broader unity. But the response was equally clear. Tamaki said that his party had already reached a firm internal decision. They would not cooperate. They would not merge. They would not join the initiative. Following that decision, Shimba conveyed a polite but firm refusal. Tamaki did not frame this as a personal disagreement. Instead, he framed it as a matter of political philosophy. He questioned the underlying logic of the new party movement. He raised concerns about the message such actions send to voters. In his view, political unity should be built on policy alignment. It should not be driven by urgency alone. It should not be based on the idea that gathering together is enough. Tamaki suggested that the public is watching closely. He implied that voters are sensitive to political maneuvering that lacks substance. He asked whether forming alliances without clear policy foundations truly earns public trust. From his perspective, politics cannot be reduced to numbers or convenience. Principles matter. Consistency matters. Clarity matters. He stressed that his party would not be part of what he sees as a policy-light coalition. This stance comes despite public calls for broader opposition cooperation. The leader of the Constitutional Democratic Party, Yoshihiko Noda, had indicated openness to including the Democratic Party for the People. Noda expressed hope for wider participation. He spoke of unity as a strategic necessity. Yet, unity alone was not enough to persuade Tamaki. The Democratic Party for the People has positioned itself as independent and policy-driven. Tamaki's remarks reflect a desire to maintain that identity. He made it clear that avoiding confusion among voters is a priority. He also suggested that forced alliances risk weakening political credibility. This is not a rejection of cooperation in general. Rather, it is a rejection of cooperation without shared direction. Tamaki's comments highlight a deeper debate within Japanese politics. That debate centers on whether opposition strength comes from size or substance. Some believe unity is the key to competitiveness. Others believe clarity and coherence matter more. This moment illustrates that divide. It shows that not all opposition parties view elections through the same lens. For some, consolidation is the answer. For others, independence is a strength. Tamaki chose the latter. He chose to stand apart. He chose to explain that decision openly. In doing so, he placed responsibility squarely on political leadership to earn public confidence. He reminded listeners that voters judge actions, not slogans. He emphasized that political movements must make sense to ordinary citizens. This development does not mark the end of opposition dialogue. But it does set clear boundaries. It signals that any future cooperation must be built on more than urgency. It must be built on shared policy, shared values, and shared accountability. As Japan moves closer to the next election, these distinctions will matter. Voters will watch how parties align. They will listen to how leaders explain their choices. And ultimately, they will decide which path feels credible. This is not just about a new party. It is about how politics is practiced. It is about whether unity is meaningful or merely symbolic. And it is about the kind of political culture Japan wants to uphold going forward.